Hello, US 101 history class. Welcome to week 3. And so I just want to mention a few things for all of you. Um, so first of all, once again, I want to say you all are really doing great. There's a few of you that have missed some of the points that I've tried to make, and I'm communicating that with you, and they're really easy to fix. So, for example, if you have citations, which you always must have, remember that you want to have the page number for the Zen book, not just saying Zen or chapter 1. Okay. Some of you may not have noticed that the online free textbook does show page numbers. Okay. So that's really on that. In regards to that, though, you all are actually, I would say, the majority of this class are doing the citations and putting down the dates and doing all that more consistently than many of my other online classes when it comes to how quickly you're all are picking up on doing that. So great job. Okay. And that's, a really fundamentally important part of college. I know it's also the least enjoyable, but the citation part and getting some of those little like nuts and bolts aspects right about the essays are huge. And I just want to remind you all again that if you were, every department will use a different citation method, and that the citation method that I'm using is just a general one that I'm picking for this class. So if any of you want to be history majors and you want to practice Chicago style, you can research that and do that. Otherwise, you're doing great the way you're at, okay? You're getting the strong idea. I'm seeing you operate well in the discussions. Once in a while, there's some things that go wrong or things I need to fix. So I appreciate some of you mentioning to me, like in my reading links, I see that sometimes I need to clean those up and organize those a little bit better for you all. I'm trying to remember to always, so you have the Howard Zen link in the syllabus and the textbook, but I try to make it more convenient for you to always have those links in your readings links. Sometimes I miss that. So I'll try to go back and put it there. But remember, you can always get the Howard Zen book in the syllabus, okay, with the link there. And so also let me clarify something about the readings. So I'm having you sometimes look at world events to try to understand how to just remind us that U.S. history is not, there's a world outside of the U.S. all the time. And in my in-person classes, for instance, I just had a bunch of students that their minds were blown. There was even discussion about the terrible practice of enslavement from Korea. The main thing that I was trying to get everyone to get on board with is that sometimes just American history is in a bubble because our culture is in a bubble. We're a huge country. We only have 2 other countries on our borders, Canada and the United States. And Canada is really also kind of a part of our history, which I'm going to explain more and give us a little better Canadian history mixed into this as we go along. But I guess what I'm just trying to say is that we're kind of set up to be able to just kind of not really understand our history in context to the broader world. So I'm just kind of trying to get you to see that. So, for example, while we're fomenting a revolution, what's happening in Russia, for example? How similar or different do these places look at these time periods? That's what I'm kind of just trying to get those out for. Keep in mind, really, when I give the textbook, it's more of a recommendation for those of you who want to look at things more linear and get more details over a wider range of topics than what I'm providing in the lectures or what Howard Zen is providing, okay? So, the other thing is, it looks like it's getting fixed, but especially with my CCAP classes, there tends to be issues about videos getting blocked. And that can happen I don't know. There's issues about how copyright works. I had some training on that. There's also issue about, how old you are and is it appropriate for, and sometimes the YouTube censors things and it's not consistent. It doesn't make sense. None of my content is too over the top, but I don't know, maybe sometimes you can see why, even if I discuss the way the Puritans want to drink alcohol, maybe the topic of alcohol gets censored. Um, so, you know, I talked to your teacher about that, and he's also apparently working with the school to try to make sure you guys have free flow access to the information that we're putting out. Let me see. One more thing I want to add is notice that my videos I made a decade ago, so sometimes I'll talk about politics from the past integrated into the videos, but it is a decade ago. But I also want you to think about, you know, I leave it there because, you know, I talk about, you know, the elections and I talk about Trump coming in and Bernie Sanders. And at the time, I had no idea still that these two would be still in politics, you know, right now. And so just think about that. Take note of that. And I think that that's all I wanted to actually cover for now. Oh, yeah, one last thing. Uh, I'm going to be switching the to Thursdays Zoom optional office hours. And if I get so many students that are starting to want office hours, I'll switch back to Wednesday. But for now, I'm going to do on Thursday. So you'll notice that in the announcement as well. I hope everyone's having a great week, and contact me again if you have any problems. We'll be in touch.